So welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Anurag, and he is an industry veteran, having served in the leadership position at various firms. He is currently the CTO of UltronConnect and also the founder of Blockchain Center for India. So, sir, I'll pass it on to you, and we are looking forward to what you have for us.
Okay, so I'm going a very mundane topic called Simcard. We know everything about the Simcard very long time. The new thing which is come from the blog was SSI, which is exactly sovereign, self-sovereign identity. So these are the two topics we are trying to merge. Where what I'm trying to say is the SIM card was an identity for a very, very long time. It has been, means if you just take the name SIM card, is a subscriber identity module. Identity is the name of the SIM card itself. So going forward, I will go diverge into what are the SIM card available right now, what is the SIM card journey to the date, and why SIM card was not used for identity, though we had Aadhaar card. Every country has its own card kind of thing. But why SIM card was never chosen to be an identity provider, though the name itself is identity. And our life really depends on that. The moment you want to go internet without SIM card, you can just forget about going internet. So SIM card is an integrated circuit. That's what we already know. It basically store your subscriber ID so that you can be billed by the telco, or you can be disconnected, DID, everything works on the basis of the SIM card. Then the next one comes up, which is eSIM, which you have seen in iPhone predominantly, because iPhone come with the SIM card. Some of the Samsung phone and some other mobile vendors are also coming up. eSIM is an embedded SIM, where SIM card is not a physical nano SIM or bigger SIM that you have seen, but it's a smaller SIM which is already built within the phone itself. But it still is a separate SIM, is not part of the processor, right? You can get from Qualcomm or something. And so what exactly it does, it helps you to have a multiple profile on the same single SIM. Physical SIM, you can have one single profile. Multiple profile if you need, eSIM is the way to go. Now, third one, which has predominantly come mostly for the IoT devices, is called integrated SIM. Now, SIM card is built with the processor. So SIM card is not a separate module by itself, but SIM card is a part of the processor itself. So more security, more tangibility is going to happen there. Now we have already heard about the 5G. So now I don't know everybody understand how the 5G will really work, but 5G will also have a 5G SIM card, very much in the format of iSIM, eSIM, and SIM card as well. Nano SIM card has multiple format, 2MF and the nano SIM. So 5G, but what 5G does, 5G comes with a tamper-proof secure element. So they introduce a new term called ESE, or embedded secure element. Now, the moment we say embedded secure element, you can talk about NOx. Samsung has a NOx framework, which is embedded secure element. Now, everybody is moving towards secure element because how do you store your signature, a private key on your phone? So Samsung if you look at the Android has something like keyring. Same thing, Apple also has some kind of keyring. I don't know the term right now, but I will tell you the term. So each mobile manufacturers are coming with something like secure element, which is tamper-proof, where you can store your secrets, secret key especially, not the secret, but secret key, so that encryption and decryption can happen much easier way. And for that reason, up till now, if you take any SIM card which is available there, even 4G, the encryption level is still triple S, which is really a very loose encryption layer. The problem with that was because moment you have a more cryptographic capability on the SIM card, the cost increases. It can increase. Right now between 30 cents, you will get a SIM card of even 15 cents, a normal SIM card. But moment you put a cryptographic element, it will go to $2, $1, $1.50, right? So, and that SIM card goes in millions. So the cost is immediately very high for telco to have the ownership of a very highly encrypted SIM card. If I talk about a SIM card today, so this is what the scenarios are. If you look at the GSMA, they have talking about IoT safe scheme of SIM card. It's an applet which is called IoT safe. So it will safeguard all your IoT devices which will onboard a SIM card. Now, if I show you what is IoT safe SIM card capabilities in terms of cryptography is, is just on the site. It has a TLS 1.3. RSA is 2048. The keys are stored. And this is all happening on the SIM card. I'm not talking about on the phone. This is on the just a small microchip, which is all this capacity built in order to go for IoT safe compliance, which GSMA is putting that if you have an IoT devices, you must be GSMA compliant. If you want, then you go and be an IoT safe. If you want to be IoT safe, these are the capacity your chipset must have on the SIM card. So because of IoT safe, but before that, there were a lot of research was happening where SIM card is just not a circuit as such, but it's a tiny computer. So it has like 1 MB of space or more than that. It depends, but published is 1 MB. No more 128 or 64 KB of data that you used to have on the SIM card, where you can store about 250 address book. But right now you can at least support at least about 3,000 to 5,000 address book if you want to, but nobody want to store there. Then we are talking about ESE, which is embedded secure element. So there are a lot of certification compliance is already built in. I will not go into that detail. So now SIM card. Now, if you look at the Thales statement, Thales is Gemalto last time, which we know used to know Gemalto, Idemia. These are the SIM card manufacturer of the world, one of the top class. It's like a personal ID for the end user and the device itself. The ESE is a multi-applications, payment, transport, access control, corporate, and Thales have developed a specific software to administer and update it during the complete life cycle of the device. They are talking about SIM card. They are not talking about phones. Thales doesn't manufacture phone. They manufacture SIM card. And this is a statement coming from Thales that IoT safe SIM card that they are creating with ESE embedded inside will have all these features. So now let's, enough of the SIM card. Now let's move back to self-sovereign identity. Now identity, everybody knows. What is Aadhaar card? Everybody knows. Or passport in such. What is self-sovereign identity started to talk about is that if I have the data with me, I should have the ability to share my data to whom I want and when I want. Now, the problem is that the credentials are given by either university or the hospital or the institutes. So there are multiple institutes. With the blockchain, the whole blockchain all started because of one thing, that the institution, trust on the institution was eroding away. So people are not really trusting the institution the way we used to trust earlier. Now there was something alternative has to be found. Blockchain came as an alternative where people will have the power in the hands of people. Now that was the whole slogan which blockchain came into existence. So now it comes to ID, because identity is one thing which is very, very much needed, because if you want to have Ayushman card or red card or anything a card, all the things depend on the ID. Now, how do I divulge the ID, which is can't be forged? It can be used, and it can be specifically given to, take for example, the people who are unbanked. Those who do not have all kind of ID that the government of India or any government provides, because these people most of the time they don't have the ID. Somebody has to support to get that ID. Now, will they have a will they have a phone? Chances are yes. In most of the time, we think that everybody will have a phone, and that's what if you are going digital without phone, definitely you can't go digital anyway, right? So we assume that the people we are talking about have a phone, but not necessarily they will have a smartphone. So if you have application based, first applications are hackable. We have seen that times over time. Second is that how you're going to ensure that they have a data plan and a SIM and a phone which is a smartphone, where application that of that capability will be able to run. Now that is a challenge, because if I take Africa region, so right now I'm working with one of the African telco. The penetration rate of the smartphone is supposed to be 3 million. The total user base is about 16 million. 3 million people should have a smartphone, but the application is only 300K, because even though have a smartphone, they cannot afford data, so their smartphone is almost defunct. And 70% population, like out of the 16 million, we're talking about 11 million are on the feature phone. They are not having a smartphone. Now, this is data which I have seen very closely. So it's not published anywhere. This is data which I'm looking at my platform continuously every day. Now, if I want to launch any digital platform and I say I want to talk about inclusion, I will straight away fail. because I'm not catering for the 11 million user base that is there. I'm mostly catering to a 3 million user base, which out of that 300K is having an application. 2.7 million, I still have to reach to them, entice them to bring on board. Maybe they are not coming up because applications are not good, or maybe they are not coming because they don't have enough data. So these are the ground level challenges where you have to start thinking in the lowest denominator of the thing which will connect, which is SIM card. Now SIM card, so we have a running application on the SIM card. This is a running SIM card, which is running in one of the African country, where we are dominantly embedding the whole application within the SIM card itself. So I will go further and give you what are the things that we do. Sovereign Foundation, I keep the name Sovereign Foundation because this was one of the champion which has done a lot of things on SSI. They are blockchain enabled. Evelyn, the company which formed after that, they are doing a lot of good work. So there are a lot of upstart. There are so many things. Earth ID was one good project which was supposed to be. I do not know at this point on what is happening with Earth ID. So to the end, identity, trust, and control. So these are the three things which combine how to make an SSI. So move forward. I give a very simple example to understand the key pair value of the SSI. Say, take for example, I go to a movie which is M18. Anyway, I go, definitely I will be able to go through. But take for example, my daughter goes, which is around about 18. So when she goes, straight away you have to prove your age, because without the age proof, you cannot go M18 or R21. Now, what she has to do, she will either take her Aadhaar card or IC to prove that this is what exactly my age is. But when you produce an IC, is a date of birth. The question that was asked is, are you above 18 or not? So you are giving unnecessary information. Not only that, if I go to, I posted a photograph of Aadhaar card. So you are exactly divulging your home address and everything, where the only thing the question which was asked was, are you above 18, yes or no? And for that, I have to give so many information, date of birth, my address and everything, which was Aadhaar card. And if somebody is taking a photograph, he already has the information. So identity, though, this paper identity, though, it should work the way digital identity should work. But the amount of information which is passing through any amount of services that you roll out, and you see that you have a huge amount of information you're passing by just to buy a small thing. You have to register first. Now, this information has become first unnecessary, very not very good for you in terms of privacy. And if that particular database which has been hacked, because you are not ensuring the database will not be hacked, if it's hacked, then you are doomed. You are paying the price for somebody else's fault. So what we are trying to suggest that we should go and talk about a digital ID, which is in control of individual, which he uses his own discretion to divulge whatever information is needed. So I'm not saying that you do not give the information, but give the information which is needed, and only give the information which is needed. Because take for example, age proof, which is requirement compliance, you cannot prove, you cannot go. So we are not trying to change anything, but what we're trying to say is that only give the information which is needed. And that's where the zero proof, I think everybody knows what is ZKP is coming up. So ZKP advocates exactly the same thing, that, okay, if I am, how to prove, because somebody has to sign. So this is where the blockchain, and ZKP is much before blockchain. ZKP was there for last 20-30 years. Blockchain came and blockchain made it much readily available, ZKP for the blockchain user. Okay, so now we are talking about hardware wallet, which has a SIM card which can act as a secure element, as a hardware wallet, which can go places if they needed to. Maybe the blockchain client is already built on the hardware itself. I do not know. So this is something that a lot of research are happening. You are already mastering hyperledgers, so you will have much more idea on that. There is another thing which is coming up, right? So we are talking about SIM card as a hardware wallet, which can interact with blockchain network. Okay, and this is the design principle that currently we have launched our project with. The project name was CryptoSIM. It was just a name. So this is how the whole flow works. So there are 4 components which is definitely needed. One is the BIP channel. BIP is the Bearer Independent Protocol. It's a TCP/IP channel for the SIM card connects. SIM card can go also HTTPS and HTTP, but BIP is much better in terms of SIM card capabilities. Then this is the internal term called SODA, but exactly is TSM, is Trusted Service Manager. This is a service which is used to update an applet on the SIM card. So every SIM card has, mostly we are talking about Java SIM card. So let me clear that one. Native SIM card is not a thing that we are talking about. We are talking about Java SIM card. Java SIM card has a capability of loading an applet. Java SIM card is like a smart card. You can create an applet and you can use your OTA server, which is OTA server, or TSM server to load an applet or manage the whole applet. If you want to delete it, you want to update it, you can do that. Then the third technology which is coming from GSM is called SIMBridge, which is access rule applications, which is called ARAM, ARAC. There are two. What it does, it allows the SIM card to interact with the application which is sitting on the phone securely. So you can create a secure session within the mobile application which is sitting on the phone and the SIM card. And so this allows you to leverage on all the hardware element which is there by the mobile application. If you're talking about a smartphone. But if you're not a smartphone, then you have another option called DSTK menu. It's mostly called STK menu. STK menu is the menu that you see within a phone. Like if you take your Airtel phone, you will see when you on the STK menu or Swing Toolkit, when you click, you see a number of services there. M-Pesa uses that a lot. A lot of places that is an application for transferring money. Right. So we have created the DSTK menu customization, dynamically can change. Like if I have a bank account and I have to update the account personalized way, we can do that as well on the DSTK menu. And the challenge with DSTK menu is most of the STK menu always need a OTA key. OTA key is a secret key for the SIM card. It's a very guarded secret by telco. So what we are able to do it, once we have installed the applet, we do not need an OTA key. That means I can open to update using an API. It can be safeguarded by the blockchain in front, but the information can be updated to the end user, or end user can give the information back to anybody who's want to verify. I think that's about it. I'm open for any questions.
Sure, sir. Thank you for that insightful talk. So, sir, in your project that you're incorporating the wallet and the blockchain within the SIM itself, so some of the things that you mentioned, that it increases the reach, right? People who do not have smartphone can also use things on blockchain. So, also in terms of network, does it also not require internet somehow to work? Can it work entirely on phone network?
We have totally forgotten about one connection that we have and used to have. It's called SMS.
Right.
And SMS is a very powerful tool. Currently, if you look at our system, we predominantly run on the SMS. So it's not an SMS, regular SMS, which doesn't see on the inbox. So this is a binary SMS, which is called zero SMS or zero rated SMS, so that user doesn't have to pay that. So this channel we use to talk to SIM card off and on when we need.
Right.
So BIP channel is there, but BIP channel is mostly for the phone which is capable to handle BIP. But if I'm talking about feature phone, where iOS will be able to use your BIP channel, iOS is which what Reliance used to sell the last time, 4G phone, 4G feature phone. That is a iOS. But like Nokia and other phones, they do not use the BIP channel. Some phone have, some phone do not have. So it's very fragmented when it comes to BIP. Smartphone, most of the BIP is available on a smartphone. So that reason we talked about platform fallback to SMS. Right.
Right. So in that case, even if the person does not have internet access, even if they just have phone network coming in, they can still use the blockchain.
Yeah. So they can send the message back to the blockchain, but blockchain has to be capable to handle the SIM card messages, which is mostly in APD format.
Right.
So that's one. So we have to build some kind of plugin where the messages from SMS can be converted back into the digital format for the blockchain to consume.
Right. Right. So, but that can be done at the server end or at
it can be done on the
not
blockchain
at the
end,
user.
Yeah. No need on the user end.
Right. And also, sir, what do you think? If we have an inbuilt hardware wallet within the phone itself rather than the SIM, versus having it on the SIM? What are your views on
No, that is always very good to build hardware on the phone, but you are going to cannibalize the telco business policies. Because if any manufacturer are building SIM card, so telco, see, if you look at the telco perspective, telco has lose out all the monetization because of Facebook, Google, because data was their bread and butter, but they were not able to monetize because they didn't understand the whole business policy. Now, when Wi-Fi came, they were also very reluctant because they thought that Wi-Fi will go and eat up the whole network. So they were very reluctant, but Wi-Fi was not doing so well, so they were okay with it. They adopted Wi-Fi with that. Now, the third thing, if you're going to cannibalize that core business, which is SIM card, that is an eSIM. eSIM was happy ending, right, for everybody. The user is very happy. Buy every phone come with a SIM card built in. It was fantastic. But apart from iPhone, nobody dared to build an eSIM into the phone. It was not, the technology was not there. It was much cheaper for telco and for the phone manufacturer, but eSIM didn't fly off the way they wanted to. You see how beautiful was the eSIM, because I can go India, then I can have a Reliance or Airtel. I can keep on switching the network whenever I want. So there were more power to the people, but telco will go to on the losing end. So anything which telco has on the core business, attack on the core business, will not really go well. So we have to be very mindful of that, because see, even roaming is still a very difficult matter. It's not that easy matter. You pay a hefty price for that, but roaming should be very swift. So it's not about technology that you are available or not. It's about the stakeholders, how they are going to buy into the whole thing. And that's what our problem will be. So when I see a problem, SIM card being wallet and everything, this is our challenges will be.
Right. Sure. I think there's also talks of maybe right now the network, the phone network or the internet network that is managed by central servers. So, in the future, maybe there's a possibility that even the network is managed on the blockchain or in a decentralized way.
There is, see, if you look at a lot of MNOs are coming up. India has allowed a lot of MNO to jump in and have their own network. Right. So you every 3 months you see a new MNO coming up there. But they are on the fragmented network which they work, which they have very specific tasks to do, and they are doing it. So things are happening, bit slow, but things are happening because telco cannot rule the world forever. Right. So
Right.
yeah, I can see that this is happening, but it will take time. It's not that going to be swift.
Right. Certainly. So also, sir, what is your vision behind this particular project, and what is the stage of this project in terms of development? Is
Okay.
it out there?
This project is already launched right now, which is about 4 million user base. We have not gone full blown with all this thing that we are talking about, but all this capability is already built in. We are trying to sell the upper level to the telco that can you do KYC verification. Like if you go to telco has all the data that you, in order to get a SIM card, you have to provide everything. And telco is already certified all that. By using a manpower call, all the processes are there. So if telco already has a custodian of all the KYC data, telco can certify that, hey, these are the information of this particular user on this particular SIM card is valid. Now, any third party who want to leverage on that, telco will not give the information. Like if you ask a date of birth, I may not give, but I will give you 18 plus. So telco can confirm the data. If user says I'm born in 1972, telco can say yes or no. So telco is going to be binary in 0 and 1, giving the information, but telco is not doing anything beyond that. A SIM card is already certified. That means we can assume that this is a signed certificate from the telco, that these are the information there. So we have to start very low. We can't go very much on SSI, okay, everything, we want to govern everything, but we have to go start with the balances. These are the low hanging fruit where telco can come in because they can get monetization out of that. Enterprise validations, all the things can come up. And you do it now also. You do and send an OTP anyway. In order to validate, you have to send an OTP. So for enterprise, there is not a cost barrier because they are paying for the OTP anyway right now. So only thing now telco has to understand this whole picture and find a new channel for monetization. That's one. Second is the information which is not really governed by the government or the agencies or institutions, that are the information like a healthcare information. Now, healthcare information is personal information to me. What is my BP? What is my sugar level? I don't need a government to assign that or certificate from that. Now, this information, right now I do not have any way to store that information progressively on a platform that I can trust. Now, this information can be linked with the insurance agency. So we are talking in terms of healthcare, where we are saying that the three things has to happen simultaneously. One is device must be tamper-proof, because if an insurance company is going to do digitalization of the healthcare, now they need a tamper-proof, which is a tamper-proof device. So your BP is 92, then 92. User may not be able to take a photograph and then manipulate the whole data and send. That's not going to work. So you need a temper. So a lot of IoT devices, healthcare devices are coming. They are floating around. Now they have to turn and become, okay, I'm temper resistant and I have a network built inside where it will connect directly to the blockchain or blockchain of the insurer or insurtech. And I will provide the healthcare information of each of the user, but based on only on the maybe policy ID. So that my policy will be keep on dynamically changing based on my health risk. So these are the possibilities that we are talking about. So we are already building hardware health devices, which can be tamper-proof, where this smart card can be built, which is what we are talking about, integrated SIM. So it will not have a separate SIM, but it will have an integrated SIM. Now, integrated SIM will take all the information based on the policy ID and feedback to the insurtech. So the second one we are already working. So we are already very much on hardware. We have already solved the problem. Blockchain we are hunting, which is the best blockchain to go with. Ethereum may not be, because gas fees is too much, so nobody will pay that. But looking at the blockchain, I think something will happen. We were looking at IOTA as well as a blockchain because it was more convenient to do that. So it will be definitely a DLT, but which one I do not know yet, because we have not reached a stage where I'm looking at the blockchain. I'm looking into the hardware first before I go to blockchain.
Right. So, extending on this, so are you looking to make this SIM card and identity for all kinds of IoT devices eventually?
Yeah, that is the whole game plan, because we are very entrenched with telecom industries, IoT devices. So recently we have talked to one of the Singapore telco to get at least about 10,000 IoT SIM card, where we will be able to inject our applet to prove with the medical healthcare devices, which are going to come to Singapore, to have that onboarded.
Right.
Yes, so, but it's still on the POC stage. It's not on launch stage. I will not say that this is something to be launched or this and that. We are still on a stealth mode at this point in time.
Right. So, in terms of geography, where do you see your project starting up from, and how do you see it expanding?
I see more happening in Africa, though I wanted to do in India, but India challenges are a bit different. Africa, maybe because we are embedded with a lot of manpower, we have a lot of relationship already built, and we already have about 11 million user base in our platform. So most probably it will start somewhere in Africa, say within 3-4 months time. And from there, we will start looking at India will be the second target for us. Singapore will be mostly, Singapore definitely there, but Singapore will mostly at the POC stage or building the brand. I don't see Singapore launching because SingPass is already here. Right. So you are not going to compete with SingPass at this point of time, at least.
Right. So you believe emerging markets are a better place to start a project?
Yep. Emerging markets are much a better place because they do not have all this. The Singapore is like very matured market. They have a lot of things right now. So for us, market will be Africa and other countries, like countries there.
Right. Sure. And so I'll also let the audience, if someone from the audience has a question, they can ask the speaker.
Yeah.
So
hi, prateek.
Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah. When we say sovereign, so how are we differentiating in between the countries? Like blockchain is like borderless, right? So when we say sovereign identity, like how it is on blockchain differentiating within the country?
So the word is self-sovereign, means I am the land and I am the law. That's what it's trying to say. It's not talking about the boundary of the country. It's saying I am the user, this is my data, and I will be deciding whom to give the data to how long and for what purpose.
Okay, so it's like it doesn't depend upon any country boundaries as such. It's when it is on SIM based, yeah, that is how it is being centralized. Yeah.
Yeah. See, because see, all the evidence of data will be given by the institution. Like, take for example, a passport. Passport will definitely a country will be issuing to you, or visa, right? But
Right.
what they are saying that if my passport is there, you need some information for my passport. The passport will be digitally signed by somebody which is trusted. It can be government agency which sign it and give you this access as a certificate, where you can only give the partial information about the passport. But at the same time, it is your passport is also been proven.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I got it. Okay. So is it, did we guys implement somewhere? Like you said, you are already some of the users, right? So uh, where all it, where all the users are using? I mean,
Okay, so what I was just telling before that, we have the SIM card access of 11 million user base. We have the technology in place to do that.
oh, okay.
We are trying
Okay.
to sell to telco to come on the KYC verification, which is a low hanging fruit for telco. Because see, telecom is like a big bureaucrat businessman and bureaucracy with all the government compliance all clubbed together, right?
Okay.
So to sell something to them, which has
Oh,
like blockchain has not a very what is it, very good adoption in the government. There are a lot of challenges in that. So the moment you
right.
say crypto blockchain, you are thrown out of the window straight away. So we have to treat very carefully when we are talking to telco. So what we are saying that KYC verification, because you have the KYC information sitting in your platform. Because in order to get a SIM card, you must have all the KYC information given to them, and they verify with all means that they have. Right.
Right.
So since now you have the KYC information, can you certify that? Take for example my date of birth. Now I can put on the Facebook whatever date of birth I want to put. Nobody can challenge me. But if I'm going to put the same date of birth for banking application, so how do bank know that this is the date of birth of mine? Right? So telco can come and play that role, but verify that okay, this if Anurag Ranjan is saying with a mobile subscriber ID, this one is saying that this is your date of birth, yes or no. So telco can be binary. So telco is not divulging any information. Telco is just ascertaining as a certificate owner that okay, this information is correct. So this is a low-hanging fruit for telco because they can go to this path. A lot of telco are becoming ID provider as well, which is called IDP. If you look into the how the identity framework is working all over the world. So IDP, like your Amazon is AWS is IAM, which is IDP. So all the social medias are all the IDPs. So now telco is none. I've not seen telco going an IDP up till now. Login by Reliance, you don't see anywhere.
Okay.
Only in Reliance itself.
Yeah. Actually, when we integrate SIM, it has to come from the one who issues the SIM itself. Means like those people actually has to issue that. Only then this will be materialized properly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely you're right. That's what I was talking about. This is the one big
Correct.
challenge that we have to face, but we have to keep pushing because telcos are also changing day by day. A lot of MNOs are coming up, so it's not on the level playing field where only you see one telco ruling the whole world. So that things are changing. A lot of new players are coming up. A lot of roaming SIM card has coming up. So you see a lot of things are happening simultaneously on different field.
Maybe UPI kind of service like usually got penetrated well in the as SIM based and also without SIM. So maybe you should find somewhere marriage between them. I mean,
No, see, it will happen because of the hacks which is going on the banking or financial industries,
hmm?
right? So there are massive hack happening. Like Singapore recently faced a massive hack, which was SMS kind of phishing was happening, right? SIM swap is one big challenge in India as well, where even HDFC is talking about the SIM swap now. So people are stealing the SIM card ID on the fly. I will not go why into that, but that is the one challenge which is happening because your OTP, transaction OTP goes to your SIM card or SMS. If I can hack your SMS, that's it. So I can reset your password, everything, because all the password reset and everything, it takes an SMS back to you.
True.
Right. So that is a very weak link for a lot of industries. There are story after story, $1 million were lost because of that, and telco was sued for that, but telco didn't take the liabilities. But telco sooner or later will get into that.
Okay, somewhere they are expecting somewhere very security in that layer.
Yeah, it is needed because you said two-factor authentication, and the 2FA is totally quack.
Yeah, 2FA is again with phone itself, right?
Yeah, but it's no, because it takes a different channel. So it's not an IP channel. It's go to SMS inbox. It's complete different application governed by SIM card. So SMS is not coming through your phone. SMS is coming through the SIM card with the telecom industry communications.
Right. See, but actually two-factor is with the authenticator app, right? So that is SIM is nowhere linked to that.
No, when you get an OTP, right?
Correct.
One-time password that you get as an SMS.
Right.
Can you get an SMS without your SIM card?
No. If that we cannot do, yeah.
Yeah. So SIM card is the master for the OTP. So we have another product called encrypted OTP because see, if Android phone, if you look very closely, SMS can be read. SMS which is coming up. Like last time, I think you have seen last time when you log into take WhatsApp, when you put your phone number, automatically WhatsApp is able to read the password which was sent.
Right.
Now they have stopped it, but they used to do that. Even Facebook used to do that. So that means I was able to read every SMS which was coming up. On iPhone, you can't do that, but on Android, you still a lot of Android you can do that.
Yes. Facebook does that.
So that means they are able to read SMS which is made for Facebook. That means they can read any SMS which is coming up.
True.
The Korean guy lost about $1 million in crypto because he tried to change the password from the Gmail and then it went into OTP and somebody hacked the OTP. And that's it.
Yeah, I think your solution is addressing those issues.
Yep. So we are trying to address that issues, which is going to be hit us soon or already hitting us.
Interesting. Good project. Yeah.
So also, sir, like we're speaking about an identity here. So do you also see regulators backing it in the future? So maybe I can prove my nationality with my SIM card.
It is bound to happen because see, SSI has been like Europe. SSI is becoming a very good thing because GDPR is there. So moment you have a privacy issues, then you have to have some kind of security going along with it. But you cannot have a GDPR. You cannot talk about privacy, GDPR, all kind of thing. Write a white paper and then say, okay, compliance is there is no real format for compliance because even now there is no real format for compliance. It's not that check. Okay, you are compliant. It's not. So when you are putting this idea of privacy continuously in the user's mind, this is bound to happen. So this is a natural growth. It's not somebody has built something and then they are trying to push to the through. This is a natural progression of thing where we are talking about privacy, and especially when healthcare means I'm not talking about I don't see a passport coming onto this. I don't see e-visa going into this. But your insurance will go into this. Your healthcare will go into this. So these are which is not so critical for the government to tie up. Definitely your PAN card is not going to go there. PAN card will remain with the taxation industries. So which are not so critical data will start coming first, where adoption will happen. Enterprise is already adopting. Some of the enterprises are already adopting. OpenID, SAML is a known thing. Most of the enterprises are ready for that. So things are creeping in. Now the big jump is that how do I bring my own identity certified by somebody else, a third party, and I can use that information. Now the mechanism for that, you can talk about software-based wallet, but it's still not very good because none of the software wallet can claim that they cannot be hacked. Simcard can claim because Simcard was there for last 30, 40 years and there is no hacking proof up till now on Simcard. Maybe one or two cases, isolated cases, but not a massive hacking on the Simcard up till now. But blockchain hacking, so many. Wallet hacking, so many. So even wallet will come and need to be secured using a SIM card. All the wallet that we're talking about, they may go into and take the SIM card as a secure element to secure it, because they cannot confirm that the secure element built on the phone is going to work for them. Because every phone has its own TE or layer, and you can't really have a phone to Samsung phone and iPhone will have the same kind of TE. You can dream about it. Not going to happen.
Right.
And if
So
they
you
do, somebody
believe,
will sue them.
right. So you believe that SIM card is the most secure form of
SIM card, because
solution.
if you look at SMS is coming back. I don't know you have heard about that or not, but SMS is now coming back. RCS, you have already heard about RCS, right? So things are happening. I told you that the whole industry is coming up on the side by side, doing their own stuff, but emerging into towards the same goal that the user identity and privacy should be secured. So that is the end goal for each of the project which is coming in isolation in different ways. Even blockchain was the same. Right. So it's not, it will not happen with this project alone, but there are a lot of allied forces working towards that. We are working on one single part called SIM card.
Right. So also, so finally, like in this particular concept of self-sovereign identity, I think there are a lot of people building different kinds of solutions, particularly on blockchain. So is it a winner takes all kind of a situation, or it has
No, it will
space for
not.
multiple?
It will not. It's too big a chapter for anybody to dominate the whole market. And look carefully on my presentation. I am not touching so much on the blockchain.
Right.
Yes, I was touching on where the blockchain will end point with. Where is the blockchain going to end on the phone? Is it going to end on the application? If user is going to trust the application and think that it will never get hacked, very good. Or the wallet itself must be secured with something much more robust enough. So our driving force was the SIM card, making sure that SIM card, like GSMA has already, the IoT safe is already there right now. So it's a matter of time that for privacy and security and identity, GSMA will have this going in or similar kind of thing. Maybe not us, maybe somebody else.
Right.
Because you're talking about machine identity. IoT safe talks about machine identity. IoT devices must have an identity validation authentication. Is already built in, is already right now in the market. So going to human is not going to be a very huge challenge.
Right. So I think I understand your project now. So you're just extending that wallet to a SIM card and making it more secure and more robust.
And more available.
And more
because
available.
with SIM card, you can reach the unbanked, which blockchain keep on talking about unbank and this and that. Right. There is no way, everybody talks about that, but there is no means to reach the unbanked. So this will be a vehicle by which they can reach the unbanked.
Right. Probably the only way that you can penetrate into these regions. And Sure. So thank you very much, Mr. Anurag, for a very insightful and a very interesting talk on your project. And it was great to have you on the show.
Thank you.